Hey all, welcome back to the channel. Today I am doing a 2-year 2,500-ish kilometer review of my 2021 Brute Force 750. I'm going to be going over the good, I'm going to be going over the bad, and I am going to hopefully help you decide whether a Brute Force 750 is the bike for you and whether you should actually buy one or not. So stay tuned. It's going to be the good, bad, and the ugly here, folks. Probably the worst thing that comes on a stock Brute Force 750 are the tires. These tires are borderline dangerous. They are cheap Duro brand 25-inch tires, and as you can see, these are not worn, and the reason they're not worn is because they're absolute trash. I think they're 4-ply, severe flex even when highly inflated in corners. These were instant takeoffs. My wife drove them for, I don't know, a few hundred kilometers, and we decided to upgrade her. These tires have such bad sidewall flex that when going around corners, you think they're going to taco over. They're absolutely terrible tires. It's something that you'd see. These tires are something that you expect on a cheap Chinese knockoff ATV, not a Brute Force 750. Kawasaki gets a 0 out of 10, like a complete fail for these tires. It's the most common complaint for Brute Force riders is the OEM tires are absolute trash. Every other manufacturer are putting tires on that you can actually use. Cowie, get your shit together. These tires are absolute garbage. So regarding the tires that I've replaced, I replaced the crap OEM ones with some CST Ancelas, and I put some 2611 12s and 26.9 12s on it. And these tires have about, and then this is not an advertisement for Ansel at all, I'm just saying what I got and what I ride and what I'm comparing to the crap stock ones. These have about 1,200 kilometers on them, and they're like new. They're pretty much like new. There's a bit of edge wear, but they wear very well compared to the OEM ones that I actually suffered through. We changed my wife's out. So yeah, these are the tires, and they're on some pretty nice 12-inch aluminum rims. And yeah, so that's about the tires. Another thing that Cowie seriously cheaped out on, it's very disappointing, is the underbody protection, the skid plate as you call it. Look at this. This is what Cowie calls a skid plate. Now I'm going to show you an aftermarket skid plate, and I'm going to show you the damage done to the aftermarket skid plate that probably would have broken the frame if we had have used this. Like, look at this. Again, Cowie. What does it cost for a piece of aluminum under the bike? Not much when you're charging like $17,000 Canadian for an ATV. So I'm going to show you a real skid plate. Okay, we are underneath my bike, and as you can see, my aluminum skid plate has taken some severe damage. It's wavy, and it has saved my bike multiple times. I've had to bash out soup bowl sized dents in this that would have completely obliterated the OEM quote-unquote skid plate. Like, why do they do this? Why would they make such a robust ATV and then put something that's supposed to protect it and cheap out so badly? Cowie, 0 out of 10. Another bad-ish thing about the Brute Force 750, and apparently they all do it. My wife's does it, mine does it. We both have identical bikes, identical kilometers. Is the gear whine, the diff whine. It's like, I can't describe it other than listen below. You'll hear it. It just gets really annoying and grating after a while. So check it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. Another annoying thing about the Brute Force 750 is the clutch shudder you get at about 20 kilometers an hour. The clutch, especially when it's wet, if you get it a little bit wet at 20 kilometers an hour, there's like a harmonic vibration bzzz, that it's concerning, but they all do it. Again, I'm picking out, I am going in-depth review here. I'm telling you everything that bugs me about this, everything I love about it. So I'm not just ragging on it, I'm mentioning every little thing. Hopefully if you get the 20 kilometer an hour shudder, 21 kilometer an hour buzzing vibration, you'll know you don't have to take it in, because I already took it in. So yeah. Another thing in the bad column, my bike does not do this, but my wife's does. When the clutch is cold, when you first start it up, it knocks. Like, it sounds like an engine knock, but it's something in the clutch. Had it into the dealership, dealer says it's okay. So I'm hopefully going to trust them on this. Yeah, so my bike doesn't do the clutch knock. Hers does. When it's warmed up, it's fine. Everything's fine, but apparently the dealer says that it's okay. Doesn't sound okay though. Here's another bad thing, folks. The radiator placement. Brute Forces are prone to overheating. That's why you see everybody with the rad up here. I'm not doing it because I don't mud that much, although by the look of my bike, you would think that it was born in mud. We went mudding last week. So if you look at the radiator, I didn't clean my radiator out, and if I took this on a long run right now, I'd have the overheat light on. It's in a super bad spot. Yeah, these bikes should have rad relocates by default. So another bad thing. Sorry, folks. Something I wanted to mention, another bad thing, is the throttle thumb thing. Right here is the stock. I added a lever onto it because the stock is so short and the pressure is so tight. Like, I'm a big boy and I got big mitts. So when my thumb gets sore from going an hour, there's a problem. No other ATV I've ever ridden has done this to me. So the cable is so tight and the throttle lever is so short that, you know, you're going to get carpal tunnel for going on a day trip. So I got one of these Colpin thumb adapters. Be very careful when you put it on, because if it gets stuck, you're going to end up in the woods. Almost equally on par in complaints in the Brute Force community about a stock Brute Force 750. Are the headlights. They're non-existent. Like, hold a candle up, throws more light than OEM Kawasaki Brute Force 750 headlights. They're trash. Cowie, what were you thinking? Headlights are cheap. Put something that actually you can ride at night with. Now, I understand those are dirty right now. It's not night. I was just mudding, and usually I clean it all off. But the headlights are completely unacceptable. Don't expect to ride at night with these headlights. Now, this could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what you want. I consider it a good thing that the current platform, other than the color of plastics, has not changed since pre-2017. So that's going on like 6 years, no changes at all whatsoever, other than color of plastics. So, you know, why change a good thing? It might be Kawai's attitude, or we don't want to put any effort into research and development. I'll leave that choice up to you. So now we're on to the juicy stuff, the good stuff, the power. This thing has, it's considered big bore, so it's a 750cc V-twin 4-stroke with 49 horsepower and 43 foot-pounds of torque. This thing is fast, like fast, and you can see below, I'm going to show you a little video of it going really fast. Yeah, love it. Got some speed on. I like to go fast, so that is the bike for me. It rips. It goes really fast, and it's not as fast as some bikes, but it's fast. It's faster than you probably ever need to go fast. So I'm stoked about that. So that gets a 11 out of 10. We're gonna dig into the good, the suspension. The suspension is awesome on this bike. The rear is independent, double wishbone suspension with 5-way adjustable preload. I run mine in stock config, and the front is also independent suspension. Keeps me from killing myself, so it's all good. So the brakes on this, the brakes in the front are dual disc, and there's disc in the rear. Stops well. Also, this bike, because it's a V-twin, has really good engine braking. So sometimes you don't need to really use the brakes. The engine braking slows you down enough to get what you need done. Nice to haves on this bike are the compartments. You know, it's got a nice rubberized water bottle compartment. It has a front compartment here that actually broke on mine, and I had to JB weld it together again. And it has a nice other waterproof compartment here that you can put lots of stuff in. I have some tow straps and first aid kit and such. So yeah, the compartments that come with the bike are nice, and they're water resistant or proof or whatever. I've never had anything get wet in those, so that's a real nice bonus. All right, another good thing is the electronic power steering. This is a pleasure to have. No more getting your arms jerked out of your socket, hitting a rock or hitting a bump. It makes riding a lot easier, especially if you're an old fella like me. It makes those handlebars not want to rip these arms out of their sockets. So that's a 10 out of 10. Something else I would like to mention is the strength and resiliency of the plastics. I have hit a lot of trees, things, and no plastics have broken, knock on wood. Like, you can see just the total scuff marks. I've had ATVs where I've broken the footwells out. These have hit rocks and it's all good. It's the plastics are tough, like tougher than normal ATV tough. I don't know what Kawi did on this. I call it a 10 out of 10. So the bread and butter of a Kawi Brute Force is the way it performs, and that I am very happy with. Thus far, 2 years deep, 2,500 kilometers in, I've had no failures on this bike whatsoever, knock on wood. The way it stops with the brakes are awesome. The way it accelerates is like a drug. You get on this bike and you crack the throttle and you're going real fast really quickly, and it's really, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's good in technical terrain because of the great suspension. It's good in water. I've had it seat deep in water. I've had it at super high speeds. And I have had it in snow almost as deep as the buggy itself. Now, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's a very awesome performing machine. That alone outweighs all of the bad. Everything I've said is bad can be fixed. Throw money at it. It's unfortunate that Cowie cheaped out on a few things like the headlights and the skid plate and the tires, but that can all be replaced, and I replaced it all except for the headlights. My final thoughts are, the seat is super duper comfy, and yeah, it's a very comfortable, it's an all day long seat. If you were going to ask me my final thoughts, Bruteforce Explorer, if you had to do it again, would you? I would do it all day long. When this bike dies, I'm going to get another Bruteforce because they're that good. For the price point, they're not a one-trick pony. They excel at everything. They're not a master of anything. They're not like a one-trick pony mud bike Can-Am. It's you can hang with any bike, pretty much doing anything when you're on a Bruteforce 750. And I love the bike. I'm gonna rate it an 11 out of 10. I'm very happy with it. I have my gripes, and you should too. But if I was going to do it all again, I'd have that exact bike again because it rips and it's reliable and it's a lot of fun. That's it. That's all I got to say. It's do it. Go out and get one. Tell them Bruteforce Explorer sent you.